Imagine this. You come home after a 14-hour shift in the ER. Your feet are killing you. Your scrubs still smell like blood and antiseptic, and the woman you've loved for 4 years, the woman you were planning to propose to next month, is sitting on the couch with her suitcase already packed. Less than greater than she doesn't even stand up. She just looks at you with that cold, pitying smile and says, "Jake, I can't do this anymore. I tried. I really did. But I'm 29. My best years are slipping away. And you're still just a nurse, less than greater than." Then she stands up, walks over to you, kisses you softly on the cheek like she's saying goodbye to an old friend, and drops the bomb. "David asked me to move in with him. He's a cardiothoracic surgeon. He closes 6-figure surgeries before lunch. He has the penthouse in Miami, the Porsche, the life I was meant for. I'm sorry, Jake, but I deserve better than night shifts and a 1-bedroom apartment." I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't even ask her to stay. I just looked at her, nodded once, and said, "Okay. Good luck, Sophia." Less than greater than she walked out the door, without even looking back. That was exactly 732 days ago. Exactly 732 days later, on a rainy Tuesday morning in October, I was sitting in the boardroom of the largest private hospital network on the East Coast, wearing a custom Brioni suit that cost more than her annual salary, watching the former CEO sign away his entire company to me. Less than greater than. And at 10:47 a.m. that same morning, Sophia walked into the staff cafeteria, opened her phone, and saw the internal email that destroyed her entire world. Effective immediately, the new majority owner and chairman of the board is Mr. Jake Morrison. 23 minutes later, she was on her knees in the underground parking garage, tears mixing with the rain, begging me through my car window not to fire her, not to take away her residency, not to ruin her career. Less than greater than, because her rich doctor boyfriend David was now just another employee on my payroll, and I hadn't even started the real revenge yet. This is the exact moment her perfect new life turned into a living nightmare, and mine became the most satisfying revenge story you will hear all year. Less than greater than. Let me take you back to the night she left and show you how a broken-hearted nurse quietly built a $47 million empire, just to watch them both burn. Ready for Chapter 2. It gets so much worse for them, and so much better for me. You're not ready the night she left. I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch where she'd just ended us, staring at the empty spot next to me, and for the first time in 4 years, I had nothing to lose. No girlfriend, no ring to save for, no one waiting for me at home. Just 14-hour shifts in the ER, and a half-finished medical AI project I'd been working on in secret for 4 years. Less than greater than. Most people think nurses just take blood pressure and give pills. They don't know that every night from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. when the trauma bay finally went quiet. I was in the break room with my laptop, headphones on, coding an algorithm that could predict cardiac arrest 28 minutes before it happened. I taught myself machine learning from free YouTube videos between codes. I stole Wi-Fi from the hospital cafeteria. I lived on cold pizza and Red Bull for 4 straight years. No investors, no co-founders, no one even knew it existed. My colleagues thought I was just addicted to night shifts. Sophia used to complain I was married to my job. She had no idea I was actually married to something that would one day be worth $47 million. Less than greater than month after month. Year after year. I watched patients die because doctors missed the early signs. I saw the same pattern over and over, tiny changes in heart rhythm, blood oxygen, temperature, that no human could catch in time. So I built software that could. I tested it on anonymized data from the hospital servers, legally, of course. Accuracy climbed from 73% to 89% to 96.4%. And I never told a soul. While Sophia was posting pictures in David's Miami penthouse, while they were flying first class to the Maldives, I was sleeping 3 hours a night in the on-call room, perfecting code that would one day save thousands of lives and destroy theirs. Less than greater than one Tuesday morning in March. I got an email that changed everything. Subject line: interest in acquiring your cardiac prediction platform. $47 million cash offer. I read it in the locker room between patients. I didn't scream. I didn't call anyone. I just closed the laptop, went back to the trauma bay, and saved 3 lives that shift. Because revenge tastes better when you earn it first. 3 weeks later, the deal closed. $47 million hit my account at 9:12 a.m. on a Thursday. I took exactly 1 day off, flew to Boston, signed the papers, shook hands with the investors. Then I did something no one expected. I didn't buy a Lamborghini. I didn't buy a mansion. I didn't even buy a new suit. I started buying hospitals. Quietly. Through shell companies, one by one. Less than greater than the first one I targeted. The exact hospital where Sophia and David worked. I knew every department, every weakness, every overpaid administrator. I bought the debt. I bought the shares. I bought the silence of the board. And on the day the final documents were signed, I walked into that boardroom, sat at the head of the table, and introduced myself as the new majority owner. David was in the room. He recognized me instantly. His face went white. Sophia wasn't there, but she would find out very, very soon. And when she did, the real revenge began. Less than greater than ready for chapter 3? It's the moment they both walked into my office and realized they now worked for the man they threw away. You're definitely not ready for what I did next. October 17th. 9:42 a.m. I was sitting at the head of the conference table, in the exact same boardroom where the old CEO used to brag about his yacht. The walls were lined with mahogany. The chairs cost more than most people's cars, and every seat was filled with the hospital's top doctors and administrators. They had no idea who the new owner was, only that he'd bought 68% of the company overnight and called an emergency all-staff leadership meeting. The door opened. David walked in first. Custom white coat, $300 haircut, that same arrogant smile he wore the night he took Sophia from me. Sophia followed 2 steps behind, holding his hand like a trophy. They saw me at the same time. Less than greater than David's smile froze. His hand went limp in hers. Sophia's eyes went wide, then filled with tears in under 2 seconds. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I just leaned back in the $18,000 leather chair and let them stand there for a full 30 seconds while the entire room watched their world collapse. Finally, I spoke. "Good morning, Dr. Harrington. Dr. Reynolds. Please, take a seat." David tried to speak. His voice cracked like a teenager. "Jake? What is this?" I smiled. The same smile I practiced in the mirror for 2 years. "This is the quarterly leadership meeting. And as of 8 a.m. this morning, I am the majority owner, chairman, and final decision maker of this entire hospital network, which means both of you now work for me." Less than greater than Sophia dropped David's hand like it was burning. She took 1 step forward, tears already streaming down her perfect makeup. "Jake. Baby, this is a joke, right? Please tell me this is a joke." I turned my laptop around slowly. On screen, ownership transfer documents, my name in bold, 68% controlling interest, $47.2 million wire confirmation. Then I opened the second tab. Effective immediately, Dr. David Harrington is demoted from Chief of Cardiothoracic Surgery to Junior Attending on the night shift. Salary reduced by 42%. All research funding terminated. Dr. Sophia Reynolds, your cosmetic surgery fellowship is canceled. You are now reassigned to General Surgery Night Float. Indefinitely. Less than greater than David tried to stand up. His legs wouldn't work. Sophia fell into the chair, hands over her mouth, sobbing so hard she couldn't speak. I leaned forward. 2 years ago, you both told me I would never be anything more than a nurse. Now, I own the building you work in, the parking spot you fight over, the cafeteria you eat in, even the on-call rooms you used to celebrate in. Every paycheck you get from now on has my signature on it. Any questions? Less than greater than Sophia finally found her voice. "Jake, please. I made a mistake. I was stupid. I leave him right now. I do anything. Please don't do this." I stood up slowly, walked around the table, stopped right in front of her. "You wanted a man with a future, Sophia. Congratulations. You're looking at him. Then I walked out. Less than greater than... That was just the beginning. Ready for chapter 4? It's what happened in the parking garage 23 minutes later, when Sophia chased my car down in the rain, on her knees, begging through the window. It gets so much worse for them. Say chapter 4. When you're ready, you're definitely not prepared for what I did next. 10 minutes after I walked out of the boardroom, I was in the private elevator heading to the underground executive garage. I didn't rush. I didn't look back. I just pressed P2 and watched the numbers go down. When the doors opened, Sophia was already there, running. Heels in her hand, white coat half on, half off, mascara running down her face like war paint. She saw my car, matte black Rolls-Royce Cullinan, brand new, still had the temporary plates, and sprinted straight toward it. I stopped, lowered the window exactly 4 inches. She reached the car, dropped to her knees on the wet concrete, and started begging through the gap. "Jake, please, please don't do this. I made a mistake. I was blinded. I'll leave David today. I'll move back in. I'll do anything you want. Please, please don't take my career." Less than greater than I looked down at her, knees bleeding from the concrete. $2,000 Louboutins ruined, hair stuck to her face. 2 years ago, this woman told me I wasn't good enough, while I was saving lives on $72,000 a year. Now she was literally on her knees in a parking garage, begging the man she threw away. I finally spoke. "Sophia, do you remember what you said the night you left?" She nodded, sobbing. "Say it. Out loud." I said you were just a nurse, and I deserved better." Less than greater than I smiled, the same smile I practiced for 2 years. "Exactly. And now, you work the night shift for the nurse you threw away. Welcome to better." Less than greater than she grabbed the car door handle, tried to open it, locked. "Jake, I'm pregnant." Less than greater than I didn't flinch. "Congratulations. David will be thrilled to raise it on his new $178,000 salary while working 80-hour night weeks under my direct supervision." Less than greater than she screamed. Actually screamed, like someone was killing her. I raised the window, slowly, inch by inch, until her fingers were the last thing visible. Then I drove away. Security footage later showed she stayed on her knees in that garage, crying in the rain, for 47 minutes. Exactly the same amount of time she once spent laughing at me while packing her suitcase. Less than greater than, that wasn't even the worst part for them. Ready for chapter 5? It's 6 months later, the day I sold the entire hospital chain for $187 million. And what happened to David and Sophia when they realized they would never, ever escape me. 6 months later. I was sitting in my new corner office on the 42nd floor of the hospital's brand new tower. Floor-to-ceiling windows, 360-degree view of the city. A desk made from a single piece of Italian marble that cost more than David's yearly salary. My assistant knocked once and entered. "Mr. Morrison, the board from Mass General Brigham is ready for you in Conference Room A." I smiled, stood up, buttoned my $28,000 Tom Ford suit. Because today, I wasn't just the owner of one hospital. Today I was selling the entire chain, all 17 hospitals, all 4,200 employees, all $1.8 billion in annual revenue for $187 million profit in cash. Less than greater than David and Sophia were required to attend the closing ceremony. Company policy for all senior physicians. They walked in together, but not hand in hand this time. David looked like he hadn't slept in weeks. Dark circles, unshaven, white coat 2 sizes too big. He'd lost at least 25 pounds. Sophia was 7 months pregnant, no ring on her finger, eyes red and swollen. They saw me at the head of the table, and both froze. I didn't speak until every seat was filled. "Good morning, everyone. Today marks the successful sale of Morrison Medical Group to Mass General Brigham for $187 million. Effective 5 p.m. tonight. This company no longer exists. All employees will receive new contracts from the buyer, except 2. Less than greater than Dr. David Harrington. Your new position is night shift attending at County General, the worst hospital in the state. Salary, $112,000 per year. No research, no private practice, no exceptions. Dr. Sophia Reynolds. Your residency has been terminated. You are now a general surgery PA. Night shift only. Starting tomorrow. Less than greater than Sophia started hyperventilating. David just stared at the table. I stood up. 6 months ago, you both told me I would never amount to anything. Today, I just sold the empire you worked in for almost $200 million, and you will spend the rest of your careers working night shifts in the same system that I used to clean bedpans in. Every patient you save, every life you touch, will be because of software I wrote while you were posting vacation photos. Every paycheck you cash will have my name on it until the day you retire. Enjoy your future. Less than greater than. I walked out. Security escorted them from the building 20 minutes later. Sophia was screaming my name in the lobby. David just stood there, completely broken. They got married 3 months later. Small ceremony. County courthouse. No guests. Their son was born 2 weeks premature, in the same ER I used to work in. I sent flowers. The card read, "Congratulations, some nurses do become somebody's after all. J.M." Less than greater than. That was the last time I ever heard from either of them. Sometimes karma doesn't just take everything you have. Sometimes it makes you watch, while the person you betrayed becomes the architect of your entire future. So yeah, that's the full story. If you've ever been dumped for someone better, if you've ever been told you'd never make it, drop your revenge story in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you want another 45-minute revenge story tomorrow at the exact same time, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Because tomorrow's story, the cheater loses literally everything in under 24 hours. You're not ready. People always ask me the same question in the comments. What happened to Sophia and David after you sold everything? So let me give you the full, unfiltered truth. No sugarcoating, no mercy. Less than greater than 3 weeks after the sale, I received an anonymous email. Attached were photos. Sophia, 9 months pregnant, standing in line at a free clinic in New Jersey because David's new insurance from County General didn't cover prenatal care at private hospitals. Another photo, David in stained scrubs, asleep on a bench in the County General ER hallway. Caption from a coworker. Welcome to the real world, pretty boy. Less than greater than their wedding. I told you it was small. What I didn't tell you was that the courthouse ceremony was on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. because that was the only time David could get off from his new 80-hour night schedule. No honeymoon, no reception, just a $49 courthouse fee, and a baby on the way they couldn't afford. Sophia gave birth 2 weeks early, in the same County General ER I used to work in. The same ER where I once held dying patients while she was in Miami sipping cocktails. The delivering doctor, one of my former nursing colleagues. He recognized her immediately. He texted me from the delivery room. Your ex just pushed out an 8-pound boy. She asked forally if you were still single. I told her you were on a yacht in Monaco. She cried harder than during labor. Less than greater than David's career? Officially over. After I sold the chain, his new bosses at County General discovered irregularities in his research data. Turns out when you're working 80 hours of night shifts with no sleep, you make mistakes. He's now on probation, facing a medical board investigation. His license is one complaint away from suspension. Sophia never finished her residency. She's a physician assistant now, making $68,000 a year, less than I made as a nurse. They live in a 750-square-foot apartment above a laundromat. The baby sleeps in a dresser drawer. Less than greater than, and the best part? Every year, on the anniversary of the day she left me, they receive a delivery, a bottle of 1982 Chateau Petrus, $15,000 per bottle, with a card that simply reads, "Some nurses become legends. Enjoy the wine, J.M." They know exactly who it's from. They've never opened a single bottle. That's real karma. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet, relentless, and permanent. Less than greater than. So where am I now? 2 years after the sale. I'm 34 years old. Net worth, north of $380 million. I own 3 hospital networks, 2 medical AI companies, and a private island in the Bahamas that doesn't appear on Google Maps. I fly private. I wear watches that cost more than most people's houses. I wake up every day knowing I earned every single penny of it, while the people who laughed at me are still working night shifts in the same buildings I used to mop. But money isn't the best part. The best part is her. Less than greater than. Her name is Valentina, 31. Cardiothoracic surgeon, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, the whole package. The kind of woman who turns heads in every room she enters. We met 6 months ago at a medical conference in Monaco. She was giving the keynote on next-generation heart valves. I was in the front row, wearing a $42,000 Patek Philippe she recognized instantly. After her talk, she walked straight up to me and said, "You're Jake Morrison, the nurse who bought half the hospitals on the East Coast." I smiled. Former nurse, current owner. She laughed. And 6 hours later, we were on my yacht watching the sunset over the Mediterranean. 3 months ago, she moved into the penthouse in Manhattan, the same penthouse that looks exactly like the one Sophia used to post about on Instagram. Except mine is 3 floors higher, less than greater than. And the final karma? David and Sophia still work at County General. Every year on the anniversary of their courthouse wedding, they receive another delivery. This time it's not wine, it's an invitation. Black card, gold lettering. Mr. and Dr. Harrington are cordially invited to the annual Morrison Medical Gala honoring excellence in cardiac care. They've received 3 invitations so far. They've never come. They know the entire room would be filled with people who know exactly who they are and exactly what they did. I don't hate them anymore. I don't even think about them. They're just a reminder of the night a broken-hearted nurse decided to become unstoppable. Less than greater than. So if you're watching this and someone ever told you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not rich enough, not worthy, remember this story. Remember that the same hands that once held dying patients can one day hold entire empires. Remember that revenge isn't about destroying them. It's about becoming so undeniable that their regret becomes your background music. If this hit you in the soul, do 3 things right now. 1. Drop your own betrayal or comeback story in the comments. I read every single one. The best ones become tomorrow's videos. 2. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Tomorrow at the exact same time, another 50-minute revenge story. This time, the cheater loses literally everything in 24 hours. 3. Share this video with one person who needs to hear it today. Because sometimes, the best revenge is becoming the version of yourself they never saw coming. I'll see you tomorrow. This is Jake Morrison, former nurse, current legend, signing off.